Hey guys, it's me Shane here with another Digimon Adventure 2020 episode review. Today's episode is episode 12, Lilimon Blooms. We got some notes here, so let's just jump right into it. Today's encyclopedia was telling us all about Palmon, who is, of course, Mimi's partner Digimon. Apparently, it's some nice little tidbits in there. Apparently, the scent coming from her flower changes depending on her mood. Didn't know that. Next week is going to be Peelmon slash Beomon, so we can only assume that that episode will be focused around that Digimon. But let's get back to this one. We did a quick little recap on what happened with the wolf that housed atop of the desert, with Sora, Yamato, and Joe handling Scorpiomon, and now we're back to the ruins where Mimi and Palmon had fallen through a trap floor, and now they are trying to find a way to get back up. But apparently, the way is too high up because Palmon cannot reach her vines up. So we have Tai and Koshiro at the top, and Koshiro's computer's been kind of acting up, and he's just trying to find out where they are. But they end up tapping into a feed, and he can see rows of Digimon, and he's saying, "Okay, well, this is the armory room." So they're trying to hurry up and find them. As Mimi and Palmon make their way through, they come along this huge junk heap, and Palmon lifts up what looks like be a faceplate. And I'm just gonna give you the Digimon's names now. They're I know I wrote them down somewhere. Hagurumon, which is basically a gear Digimon, is basically the original form of Soulmon that we saw with the Children Take the Fortress episode, and it's Guardramon. So all this is just the scrap pieces of them. And Mimi kind of sad and wipes some dust off of the side of what looks to be a large Guardramon piece and says, "You poor thing," and just kind of smiles and blah 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 blah. And we get Soundbirdmon, who sends out is watching them, goes back, activates activates Andromon, and Andromon is just basically the Terminator in this entire episode. His eyes are red, and he just keeps saying "eliminate." And when he first shows up to face Mimi and Palmon, of course Palmon digivolves into Togemon, and when they meet with fist, like fist to fist, it makes Togemon's entire body shiver, and she's just launched back into the wall, instantly knocked out and de-digivolves. Well, as Andromon's getting ready to, I guess, kill Mimi, the once down Guardramon gets up and protects Mimi and Palmon, remembering that kindness that Mimi gave him, fires a little missile, and this missile looks like a bullet bill that's pretending to be a police officer, has a little whistle, and it spirals up, hits a large crane hand, and falls directly on top of Andromon. And Guardramon just flies and gets them out of there and brings them to this little flooded area. It's all water. And I would have thought it was an abandoned city, but it's just probably an abandoned part of the factory where there was a leak. And gives Mimi a flower while they're trying to, I don't want to say resuscitate, but wake up Palmon. Meanwhile, Koshiro and Tai, they're just going to make their way down the hole and then just try to retrace their steps that way. The funny thing is, Koshiro's laptop has been going on a fritz. It's going in and out. He thinks that it has to do with the ruins, but they're unsure because Taichi couldn't use his device to find out where Mimi is, and that's part of their digivices. They can communicate with each other over long distances. So perhaps something in these ruins is getting in the way of that. To make sure I didn't miss anything here. And so, as Mimi asks the Guardramon, "Well, is there an elevator? Maybe a way I can get up so I can meet back up with my friends?" Guardramon does not speak, just blows out steam as like an answer, as like a yes or a no, or just as a response, and carries them to this elevator. Meanwhile, Soundbirdmon awakens all of the down Hagurumon, and they start attacking Tai and Koshiro. And Andromon is steadily making his way and stops them from going up the elevator, again, Terminator style. Guardramon tries to fire again, but this time Andromon, he has an attack called Gatling missiles. These are missiles with Gatling guns on top, so they can shoot you while they're coming at you. and he seemingly knocks out Guardramon. His eyes go from, nice and green to, it's like a TV screen, like old CRTVs with the static and the snow, and it just fades out. And at this time, Kabuterimon comes in and makes the save. Stops Andromon from using his spiral sword attack, which is his hand turns to a drill and he lets out a light blue attack. But Kabuterimon knocks him to the side. Mimi is happy that Koshiro shows up, but Andromon is too strong. It's too much for Kabuterimon. Makes him go right back to Tenamon. And we have Tai and Greymon. They were taking care of the Hagurumon. They really didn't want to hurt them because they could tell that they had been manipulated by the Soundbird Mon. But they come in and make the save now. And it's a clash. By this time, Palmon is up. Palmon Digivolves into Togemon. And Greymon, with Tai's help, of course, turns into Metal Greymon. Again, that excellent Digivolution sequence. Not just from Agumon to Greymon, but Greymon to Metal Greymon. The great music. And Metal Greymon's massive. So he can't really move too well in this factory-like area that they're in. But he's holding his own against Andromon, who Koshiro, later tells them, this is the ultimate level Digimon. But older fans also know he's the ultimate level Digimon too. And now Andromon does a move called, he does his Gatling attack, but it's called what is it called? I think it's called High Rapid Fire Mode. So you find out a bunch of these things with these Gatling guns, and they're bringing the roof down. So you have big old Metal Greymon holding it up, and you have Togemon holding it up, trying to make sure they don't hit the children. And as Andromon's coming up, looks like he's once again for maybe the fourth time, looks like he's about to kill Mimi. Guardramon grabs him by the leg, and there's actually the Guardramon actually has a number, because Andromon says, what are you doing, Guardramon number 2078. So 2078 makes the save and blows the steam. He's remembering Mimi's kind face. I think even though he can't speak, I think one of the things when him bringing her a flower was that first thing he saw was her smiling, so he wants to see her smile again. Well, he's not going to see her smile anymore because Andromon stomps this guy's head in. And as his head gets stomped in, the lights fade once more, but this time you can tell he's not getting up. You can tell Guardramon is now effectively dead. And Mimi starts crying, and she says, I'll forgive anyone but you. The cliche anime line, I'll forgive anybody but you, I won't forgive you. And Togemon evolves into Lilimon. It's very nice, even though Palmon into Togemon was kind of I won't say haphazard, but it wasn't all that special. The sequence into Lilimon is basically showing like Togemon's this giant shell, and Lilimon blooms from the flower. One thing I want to note, Togemon's size seems to vary. Because when we first meet Togemon was pretty big, along with Dramodramon, and almost the same size as Greymon. And now Togemon's kind of the same size as Andromon, which is this. I would say Andromon's probably like 7 feet, maybe 8 feet tall. So, kind of weird, but I digress. Once Lilimon shows up, she's basically this fairy-like Digimon, and she's got this pixie dust, and Andromon is trying to hit her, but the pixie dust is making it hard for him to aim on. So again, he does another rapid fire and does all these spiral sword attacks, which aren't hitting. And Lilimon goes and does her fleur cannon. Subtitle says flower cannon, but in French, fleur is flower. And the flower cannon hits Andromon. Once it hits Andromon, it starts to make the entire area into just grass. And the grass is creeping up on him. And as the grass is creeping up, he regains his senses and says, "What have I been doing this whole time?" And that's just it. That's the end of Andromon. He's covered in grass, and now Mimi is having a big old cry. And when we get back after the small little break, because I'm watching this on Hulu, she lays a flower on top of Guardramon's grass-covered body, and Tai gives a synopsis. Well, Koshiro and Tai kind of give a synopsis, kind of talking to each other back and forth. Saying like, "Wow, they were once friends and they were both manipulated. It's really messed up." And Palmon asks if Mimi's okay. Mimi says, "Yeah, we really need to beat these guys and to stop them now." So with more resolve, they go forth. As we see, our next episode is going to be with Guardramon. Apparently, they're fighting these wasp-like Digimon. I've seen these Digimon before. I know them. I'm going to save myself the trouble of looking them up just so I can be surprised next week. Looks like it's going to be another good one. This episode didn't have as many Digimon as some of our previous episodes. It really does showcase it. They did a good job of showcasing how really strong one of our one of the fan favorite older Digimon Andromon was. My only issue is that that was it. I get that the chosen children and their partners are strong, but he's covered in grass and that's it. Like the guy was laying in a pile of scrap, seemingly rusted, and just was awakened. I'm hoping and assuming that once they deal with the issue that's going on, that somewhere down the road they'll see Andromon again because he's just covered in grass. He can break out. It's not like they destroyed him. Again, as with anything, you need to see a body. If you see a body and knows that the body's not going to move, that's how you know that it's actually gone. If they would have blown a hole in them and the grass covered up, then I would understand. It's kind of average episode. I mark out. I get super hype whenever I hear that Super Evolution, the music, the one from Ultimate, from Champion to Ultimate that Greymon has, but the music with Lilimon, with Togemogo to Lilimon, was really softer music that we've heard or that we hear in the beginnings of the episodes. So I guess it was just kind of going along with the mood that she's sad that Guardramon that has saved her had, got killed trying to protect them. It's average. I give it a 3 out of 5. I'm kind of being a little bit harsher. I know I gave the last episode a 4. Yeah, gave the one Burger Room out of 4. Close to a 5 because I really enjoyed it, but this has to be a 3. I know it's a bit of a bias because Mimi's kind of crying thing. I found that annoying when I watched the dub all those years ago in the 90s. Now I can understand what they're going for, kinda. I mean, Sora has spoiler alert. Sora has aggressive love. Her whole thing is kind of motherly, and she even before we had actually in the middle of this episode, I didn't mention it. We had like a flash over to Yamato's group. They're flying on, Bergamon's holding a log and they're all flying through the air. Sora's worried about Neymon's group. And Yamato has this cool line where he's like, well, once we finish our goal, it'll ultimately benefit them. And Joe has this comment line like, man, you said a really cool thing. Why can't I say the thing? And I love those interactions. I Sora has shown, she brings supplies. She has supplies. She's the one that kind of knows when to let the two main guys argue. She also knows when to come in and say, hey, we're going to help these people. Mimi's whole thing is, I guess, the pacifist route. I'm guessing she's the character that doesn't want to fight but will fight to end the fighting. And I get that they're, kids. They're what? Koshiro's 4th grade, so they're 4th, 5th, and 6th grade with Joe. I get they're young. But at the same time, I want them to flush out that Mimi more. I want them to I want them to explicitly say, either from her mouth or from Palmon or her various forms' mouth, hey, she doesn't like fighting, but we're gonna fight to make sure we end fighting. I need that to be said so we can get a better concrete version of this character. I enjoy characters that mourn the deaths of their enemies. I just don't enjoy all the crying. It's just me. So again, 3 out of 5. Not a lot of new Digimon. I was hoping to get at least 4-ish because we got a ton last time. I'm hoping that this next episode with obvious Garudamon is obvious episode. I hope we get at least 4. I know we're going to get the champion bugs And then the ultimate level wasp bug. Even though the only ultimate level wasp Digimon I can think of is a mega form. No. The ultimate form looks like a giant battleship. The mega form looks like a humanoid bee. Ha. And it's cooler than how I'm making it. But again, I always recommend, please watch these episodes. So let me know, you guys that you guys been enjoying it. If you've seen this episode, pardon me again. If you've seen this episode, let me know what you thought of it down below. Do you think Andromon's going to show up? I think he's going to show up again in the future. I'm looking forward to some of these Digimon returning. Don't know about Ogremon, but I wonder if Leomon knows Ogremon. That's another thing I'm looking forward to. So please, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get more videos like this. I promptly put these up every Sunday. I hope you really enjoyed this. Share the video. Please be safe, wear a mask, be good to everyone. Be good, be blessed, and I will definitely see you next time.